So yeah, just sitting in my room at 5 o'clock after losing the $50,000 tournament and just wondering what I'm gonna do for the next 7 days. Just thinking what could have been, and I was thinking I could try to sell 90% to this, and I only have to risk $2,500 and I can play a 25K turbo today, and I got 4 hours to do it. It starts at 4 o'clock. Worst case scenario, people just make fun of me on Twitter. I can just put it out there. I mean, it's like a free roll. And so I just put out a tweet and I heard my phone blowing up. I was like, oh shit, here we go. And it was this woman named Mel who works for ACR questioning why I'm selling 90%. I'm like, I don't know, I'm broke. What do you want me to yeah, it's a lot of money. She goes, oh, you didn't read the chat? I was like, what chat? She goes, oh, read the chat. Phil's putting you in. I'm like, putting me in? He's putting everybody in. And apparently Phil Nagy wanted all the pros to have another shot. And he put us all in on a free roll deal to play the 25K turbo that starts at 4 o'clock, and deleted the tweet, no longer necessary. And next thing you know, I'm got one last chance to get a nice score. $200,000 starting stack. Not too much happens for the first few levels. With blinds at 1K, 2K, 2K big blind. David Peters, aka D Pete's, opens to 5K in early middle position. I'm in the small blind with Ace King Spade Club. Standard 3-bet spot off of 100 bigs. I make it 22,000 to go. Just over 4x. Big blind folds and D Peters puts in the call. Now, part of me wants to avoid the pros, but this field's very pro-heavy, top pro-heavy, if you will. Not too many recreationals, but we're gonna make the best of the situation. When the flop comes 9 deuce deuce, 2 clubs, 1 spade, we do have range advantage here, so we're gonna c-bet small, high frequency, around a quarter pot. I make it 12,000 to go, and D Peters folds. We take down a nice pot. Like I've mentioned previously, there are a lot of table changing going on, with new tables spawning, tables breaking down, table balancing as people get eliminated, and we do get moved from our big blind to a fresh table. I think it's a bunch of late reg, and it's looking good. It's all relative what good is in these $25,000 buy-in events, USD. But let's just say not too many Caucasian 30 to 35-year-olds. So let's gamble, let's get paid, let's make some hands. Very first hand at 5K big blind, I make it 12,000 with pocket threes. Player to my left calls, and we're heads up to a 10-5 deuce club spade board. We don't have either. We could check fold, but I think it's worth a stab. We bet 12,000. They call, turns a jack, and we check fold. Okay. The very next hand, we open King, Queen of Diamonds. 12,000, under the gun +1, and we get 2 calls. Flop comes Jack 7 deuce, and we check fold. Okay. The very next hand, we look down at Jack 10 of clubs, under the gun, make it 12,000. These guys must think I'm a tilted fish, and we get a call from the button and both the blinds. 4 ways to a flop of ace, ace, 5. Chris Brewer is in the big blind with about 30,000 left. The flop is rainbow. It has 1 club. We have 2 clubs. We almost have a flush. And it's just a great board for us to bet small. We have more ace X than them. And this is what we do if we did have an ace X. So I bet 12,000. Button calls and the blinds fold. When we get called, I'm putting my opponent on a lot of small to mid pairs and occasionally some ace X. Maybe even some king queen backdoor flush draw floats. When the turn brings a 4 of clubs, pretty much a brick, unless he has pocket 4s or deuce 3, probably not deuce 3, but we did pick up a flush draw, and we can continue our story of having trips. So I size up to 35,000, setting up a under pot river shove possibility He goes deep into the tank. Break gets called. Life is flashing before my eyes before he eventually folds. And we're back up over starting stack, about 216,000 to be exact. We're player number 016. Is it a sign from above? Stay tuned to find out. With blinds at 4K, 8K, 8K, action folds around to Alex Kulev on the button, who has just over 100,000, who grips it and rips it. I'm in the small blind with about 160,000 and ace king offsuit. We cover, we got a premium, let's gamble. I'm all in, big blind folds, we're up against queen 10 off, big 60-40. The flop comes, jack, jack, 10. Alex takes the lead, the turn's a 6, and the river is a queen. We make Broadway, eliminate a player, and we're almost at 300,000 chips in this $25,000 turbo. With a 12K big blind ante, middle position, Sebastian limps off a 15 blind stack. Interesting. Folds to Ike Haxton on my right, who's got a huge stack, and puts in the call. I'm in the big blind with 10-8 off. I check my option, and the flop comes 10-8 deuce. You love to see it. Ike tanks down, almost uses a time chip, and checks. So I think he's got something. I don't think he just balances just like having nothing here and so I don't want this to go, I don't want this to check through. Just checking the big blind. I'm gonna have plenty of 10X here, 9-7, Jack 9, Jack 8. A lot of pairs, a lot of straight draws. So I fire 25,000, one chip into the pre-flop limper. I put his limping range at a lot of hands that don't want to be jammed on. So queen jack, prime candidate, maybe a jack 9 suited, king 10, king queen, hands like this. I kind of assume he's going to be jamming all small pairs and big suited aces. I could be wrong. So the limper does call, and Ike does fold, which kind of surprises me. The turn is a queen, so Jack 10 gets there. Queen 10 now beats us, but we beat Queen Jack. He could still be trapping with aces or kings or jacks or something, who knows? So I could bet again, but I think the stack to pot ratio is better for me to check jam, although it is kind of thin, even with two pair, considering our ranges. So I check. He uses a time bank and eventually bets pretty small, 40,000. I do use a time bank chip, even though I don't need it. I know what I'm doing in my heart, and that's jamming, having him covered, and he quickly folds. And we go on another break, take down a nice pot. With a 20K big blind, action folds to us on the button, and we look down at Queen Jack of hearts, a premium. We have a kind of a strange stack size, just under 20 bigs. So open jamming seems excessive. Limping is also acceptable. How much the big blind is going to attack this limp, I'm not sure. But we just go with the standard min raise. Mike Watson, aka Sir Watts, is the big blind. And he puts in the call. He has us covered with about 550,000. The flop comes Jack 6-3 rainbow. Definitely going to bet here. The question is sizing. I think small or large is good. This time I think I want to go large. Target is worst Jack X, 6X, 3X, and some straight draws are available. If we do bet 75,000, we'll have exactly a pot size jam on the turn. And yeah, that's no limit, baby. He checks, I bet 75,000, and he puts in the call. The turn is a deuce of clubs, bringing in backdoor clubs. He checks, we time down to 5 seconds and stick with the plan of shoving all in. He doesn't snap call, he kind of shrugs and puts in the call. Our tournament life is on the line in this $25,000 turbo. He shows 6-5, I believe. 6-5 for second pair straight draw. All I'm thinking is high card dealer, and the dealer gives us a high card indeed. We jack him on the river. Trips is good. Big double. Whew. Feeling good. With blinds at 10,000, 25,000, 25,000, we get moved to a new table. Early position opens to 50,000. I have about 700,000, and I look down at ace king offsuit. Of course, we're going to 3-bet here to 135,000. Action folds to the big blind, and they're all in. Okay, let's run it. Original Razor is also all in. Can you fold ace king offsuit here? We cover. Of course we can't fold ace king offsuit. It's a turbo. This isn't that many blinds to risk. We put in the call. 160K stack has pocket sixes, and Original Razor has pocket queens. This pot is for over 1 million chips, and the chip lead of the tournament at this point. Ace high flop dealer. Keep it clean. The board comes Jack 9 3. The turn's a 5. And the river is a brick. The sixes players eliminated. The queens are good. We double up the queens, and we're down to about 250,000. What could have been? We have 10 blinds, but we're not giving up. We're devastated, but the party's not over yet. The same player, Kiat Lee, opens to 60,000 at 30K big blind. Early position. I'm next to act with ace jack. The Allen Jackson offsuit with about 185,000 in my stack. 6 bigs. I think it's time to gamble. We're all in. Our tournament life is on the line. Pulls back to Kiat, who puts in the call with pocket sevens. We're off to the races, and I haven't really been filming runouts or players or anything, just out of respect and just trying to be in the zone, in the moment. In retrospect, I should have done more cameos, more videos with all these superstars, because they've been very friendly, no problems at all, very respectful of the noob on their home court. Let's win a flip. Allen Jackson, baby. We do have video. Our tournament life is on the line. And we turn the Boski to get the full double. We're right back in it, almost 15 bigs. Let's find some good spots, and we're getting kind of close to that min cash. $44,000 min cash would be pretty sweet. I mean, any cash would be sweet, because my Hendon mob's stuck at, I think, $995,000 lifetime. Be a good time to pop that cherry and be a millionaire. All profit, of course. Hendon mob. With a 30,000 big blind, we get moved to a new table again. I think we're about 10 from the money. Action folds to a fellow by the name of Moonhusio, who has a crystal Winnie the Pooh action figure as his guardian, as he says, a card protector, who opens to 2.5x, 75K in middle position. Roman, boyfriend of Monica, puts in the call. Original Razor has about a 550K stack. Roman has a 600K stack. So, you know, between 15 and 20 bigs should be some pretty strong ranges. It folds to me in the big blind. I have 15 blinds and ace 10 off. What do you do with ace 10 off here? Call? Shove? Fold? I think all options are on the table. I was just thinking that the flatter, I think he's going to be very nutted here. I mean, I know in my shoes I'd be like jamming small pairs and suited aces and king queens and stuff versus this open. Maybe he plays differently. I know he's a cash game player. I just think he's got a lot of traps. I just think he wants action in position. So I do the unthinkable and just fold the ace 10. Flop comes 10, 6, 4. There's a bet and a fold, and we're just never going to know if it was the right fold. But in retrospect, I think I just had like the perfect stack size to get the squeeze jam through, or just, you know, get lucky and win a flip, or suck out a 10 on the flop and have a million chips. So, you know, there's always much regret, but all you can do is live and learn. First hand back from the Triton Players Party dinner break. I'm happy I'm in the tournament, but we do enjoy some free food, some live entertainment. We have some video of that. 40K big blind. I'm under the gun with 450,000 and pocket tens. Easy jam for 11 bigs. I try to feign weakness by looking at relative stack sizes, and we're all in. Action folds to Mikita Bajakuski, Fish, 2013, one of the best players in the world in all game formats. He's in the small blind and he calls it off. 180,000, okay. Big blind folds and we're up against Ace 10 offsuit. Oh, don't spike an ace on me. We need every pot. We have to win our all-ins. And we do have video. Our 10s hold, and we're sitting on a very healthy 15 blind stack or so, which is a lot in a turbo. Let's continue to find some good spots and pick up some premiums. With a $50,000 big blind, we get moved to another table. Action folds to the cutoff. He shoves all in for about 350. I'm on the button with 12 blinds and ace 9 offsuit. Not pretty, but I think we're ahead of his range. The blind shouldn't come around too light. We do cover, and we're gonna gamble. We shove, the blinds fold, and we're up against King 9 offsuit. We read him like a book. Let's hold.
No, I'm kidding. It's
kidding. He's kidding. Don't do that to me. Don't do it. Come on.
How come?
We do hold, and we're up around 1 million chips, rapidly approaching the min cash bubble. I believe we're 5 from the money at this point. 15 pay. Let's run hot.
Played my big blind. Done?
We are on the stone bubble. We're hand for hand. We do have fellow team pro Anna Marquez across the table from us. Various short stacks at the other table. We remain hand for hand for 10, 15 minutes. Ike Haxton has 2.5 million chip leader at our table on my direct right, and he's been open jamming pretty much every hand, as he should. That's just how ICM works when it comes to min cashes. But at some point you got to draw the line. He shoves the button. I fold the small blind, I believe. Big blind folds. And I just make a funny comment. I say, wow, you're picking up a lot of hands, Ike. And the table laughs, and he kind of chuckles, because we all know what he's doing. It's pretty obvious. And then before the next hand is dealt, I remember thinking specifically, I've about 1 million chips at 50K big blind. Blinds are about to be 60K. What is my range for calling his all in here if he keeps going all in until the bubble bursts? And what's the future game scenario, all the possible outcomes of me stone bubbling or me doubling up and now having position on him, and I now have more chips than him, so I could take control of the bubble. Just running some hypotheticals. Of course, I haven't had any good hands. And the very next hand is dealt. He shoves all in, and we look down at pocket 10s. It's funny, before the hand, I said, would I call off with jacks here? And I specifically, and then I looked down at 10s. I'm like, well, okay. Do I fold 9s? I know ICM is the thing. It's not just chip EV. And I only use 1 or 2 time banks during the day, so I have 10 time banks remaining. And I think now's a good time to use them. Nobody busts on the other table as I'm tanking and using time banks, facing his jam. Do you call off 18, 19 blinds here with pocket 10s? I assume Ike's range is very wide, almost any 2. I want to say 80% of the deck. How did 10s do against 80% of the deck? Even king 4 off, they're going to have 35, 30%. Just having an over and some random backdoor flush draws. Even against pocket 10s, ace rag, same thing, 25, 30% we're talking. So we're just going to bubble that amount of time compared to double. Bubble or double is the question. What do you do with pocket 10s in this situation? We use more time banks. We look at everybody's stack. We try to get a read on Ike. We question why we're here. What's the meaning of life? Do we go big or go home? We can comfortably continue to fold and lock up this min cash, or we can play to win. Eventually, with 1 time bank remaining, all the camera crews taking my pictures and videos. In the moment, they know this is clutch time. I assemble my chips and put the call in the middle. I mean, he could have 5-6 suited. Could have pocket deuces. We're way ahead of his range. We just hope he doesn't have 2 overs. Cards are on their backs. The tension is high, and he shows us king, queen offsuit. I can't believe he has 2 overs in this spot. The biggest flip of my life. Let's keep it low, dealer. And we have video.
Làm nổ đi phụ phải không?
And just like that, the pocket 10s hold up. We now have 2 million chips. Ike has 1.5 million. It's a whole new ball game, and the bubble continues. The bubble does burst. We're in the money, $44,000 locked up. I have 25% of this action, so that's a 11K score with hopefully much more coming to us with our big stack relative to the blinds. Not too much action for a few levels. I think we're down to 12, 11 people. Matthias Eibringer opens the button to 245,000 off a 2 million stack. I'm in the small blind with a 1.6 million. Y King Young, I think Richard Young's son, is in the big blind with 500,000. I look down at Jack 10 of diamonds, and I think my first instinct is to just jam. I think he's opening pretty wide, especially when he sizes up to 245 as opposed to a min raise. He's trying to price out any flats and just run it versus the big blind, and he kind of telegraphs he doesn't want to induce a shove, so he goes a little bit bigger. And I use my last time bank, and I chicken out and just fold the Jack 10 suited off of 16 bigs here. I think we had a ton of fold equity, and if we do get called and suck out, having over 3 million chips is huge too. And I took the cautious route and folded, and the big blind folded, so we'll never know. And we move on to the next hand. Jack 10 suited. Do you shove there? Let me know in the comments.
What are you doing right now?
Final table time.
ACR final table.
Final 9. 67, 6 locked up. 67, 0, 0, 0, 0 up top. Let's get it. A few players get eliminated, and we have made the final table. 104 entrants, 9 remain, 25K turbo. I think over 600,000 USD up top. Not on the live stream, unfortunately. The 75K is still playing heads up on the main stage, but we're right below it. Got some great videos and pictures of us posing for the final table. Joining me is Anna Marquez, short stacked, Nacho Barbero, big stacked, fellow ACR pros. The excitement is palpable. The biggest final table of my life. Let's make it count. The very first hand, there's an all-in from a shorty, and they do not win, so we got a pay jump up to, I believe, 90,000 locked up. Let's keep seeing the shorties lose. Love pay jumps. Get your ladders out and chat. There's a three-way all-in with Nacho, Anna, and Eibinger.
Oh.
10.
Good game, I mean, good luck.
Eibinger hits the river, eliminates Anna, and doubles up through Nacho. Good game, Anna. Was rooting for you. But now 7 remain, 121,000 locked up. Our eyes on the prize, though. We're not the shortest stack, but we're getting there, and blinds just keep going up. 125K big blind at this point. We do get a few shoves through. I open shove King Queen off and Ace 10 suited, and nobody calls. It's got to chip up. Gotta fight for these blinds or win some big all-ins. That's what it comes down to late in these turbos. With 125K big blind ante, early position Andrew Leatham shoves all in for 750K. I'm in middle position with Ace, Queen, and 2 million. Seems like a pretty good spot to pick off a desperate shorty. We shove all in. Everybody folds, and we're up against pocket 8. Big flip for the pay jump and a nice chip up. And the flop comes Jack 9 8. He hits a set. We got backdoor diamonds and a straight draw. Turns an ace, which does nothing. We need a 10 or we double them up, and the river is not a 10 and we double them up, but we still have 1.3 million chips. Let's stay focused, plenty of fold equity. A few shoves get through and we fold through the blinds a couple times. Blinds go up a couple times and no one gets eliminated. A couple shorties double again. And I now have 1.4 million at 200K big blind, still 7-handed. Look down at King Jack offsuit. Pretty standard shove here. Nacho in the cutoff, I believe, ISOs. And we're up against Ace Jack. 30% to win. King me dealer.
All in.
She wrote.
All good. Things went well. I won a lot of small important all-ins. Busted a lot of people like Mike Watson, Chris Brewer, Makita. Got to the final table. Did what I could with the hands I got dealt, and ended up getting 7th place for $121,000, which is the biggest score of my life. Yeah. Just good timing. Good timing to get in that one, and all worked out. I felt good. We'll get him next time. And we're out. The board comes all low cards, no king, and we are out in 7th place for $121,000. Like I said, it's a free roll from Phil Nagy, so I actually get just over $30,000 profit. We'll take it. A great experience. Hendon Mob now over 1.1 million. And we've got our first Triton cash in the books. It's good to be able to play our final event and not go home empty-handed. A lot of great things to experience on this trip. I appreciate the opportunity, and there's just great hospitality at the Hoyana Hotel, Suite, Casino, Golf Resort, and just a great event by Triton. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. But most importantly, you can find me on Twitch most days, streaming America's Card Room, online poker action, interactive experience. Get in the chat, sweat these deep runs with me. If you don't have an ACR account, now is the time to sign up and use promo code BOSKI on your first deposit. First deposit only, 100% deposit bonus to be released as you play. Gamble responsibly. Do not risk more than you can afford to lose. And we're out.